Moving on to our secondary, we have our two corners, both from the SEC, in Chris Abrams-Drain from Missouri and Terrion Arnold from Alabama. Two safeties, also from the SEC, in Malachi Starks from Georgia and Jalen Simpson from Auburn. And then our flex defensive player, basically our slot corner, is Sebastian Castro from Iowa. So, Dalton, who do you want to talk about out of our secondary players that we have on our All-American team?
Man, looking at it now, just the absolute boatload of athletic talent in the SEC is crazy. Yeah. Between, the matchups that we get at receiver and in the secondary all year is just nuts. But I'm actually going to go with Terrion Arnold from Alabama. Now, I know Kool-Aid McKinstry is the coolest name and the biggest name in Alabama's secondary, but Arnold's actually been even better. He's the 10th highest overall graded corner in the country. He has, right, you see it right there, the 90.7 run defense grade, 7 forced incompletions, the 6 pass breakups actually ties him with Abrams-Drain for the SEC lead. He's only given up 166 yards in 6 games, and 93 of those were to Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Honestly, some of those yards were a lot of yards after catch throughout the year, especially the one catch he gave up last week to A&M that went for 37. That ball was like 5 yards in the air, and McKinstry actually missed a tackle that cost him, and A&M ended up scoring on it. So, this guy, he has only given up 1 catch of 15-plus air yards this year. They just, for a team that right now, Alabama is the best coverage team in the country, best secondary in the country across the board. Arnold has actually just barely, because they've all been good, all those guys, McKinstry included. And Arnold actually just barely has been the best player among them. He's super aggressive in run defense. He's a sure tackler, lockdown. If he's not like totally locked down in coverage, he doesn't give up any big plays. Really, he doesn't. Like I said, the one catch you'll see to A&M last week, one catch for 37 yards. That ball was thrown about 4 yards. And some other circumstances happened. That was not his fault. So you've got a guy who just, everybody was thinking about, they lost Branch and they lost Battle, and McKinstry was really the one guy left from last year that played a lot. Guys like Terrion Arnold have come in and continued this secondary. And I know Milroe's development is obviously a big thing with Bama right now. It gets all the spotlight. But if you want a real reason they could still win the SEC, it's this second. This is the best secondary in the country. Yeah. And Terrion Arnold has been spectacular. Get to know his name. He's been every bit as good as McKinstry and the rest of this secondary that you'll hear. I really, at this point, seeing them through 3 SEC games, I have no idea. LSU's their matchup when they get to play LSU is going to be so much fun. Because we already mentioned the 2 receivers earlier. LSU's the best deep ball throwing team in the league, in the nation, and Alabama is the best at preventing them. It's going to be so much fun to watch Arnold and these guys against LSU when that comes. But this secondary could be the reason that Bama could still win the SEC.
Oh, absolutely, man. You mentioned it. Kool-Aid McKinstry would be on probably our second team All-American list because he's been that good. Caleb Downs has been another fantastic safety. He's just a true freshman so far. He's the highest rated safety recruit since Derwin James coming out of high school. So Alabama secondary, man, is absolutely loaded, like you said. Speaking of safeties, though, I'm going to go with the best safety in the country right now. That is Malachi Starks from Georgia, who a lot of people were very high on last year when he was an excellent true freshman. This year, he's even better, man. He leads all safeties in the country in overall grade. He is second in coverage grade. He's tied for 10th in run defense grade. He's the only safety in college football who's top 10 for both. And, we talked about some other guys like Luther Burden III for the 2025 NFL draft. Malachi Starks, man, is going to be one of those special safety prospects, I think, coming on for next year's draft because, man, he has been unreal as a true freshman, and he's even better now as a sophomore, going from a great for a true freshman, like a really good player overall, unreal for a true freshman, especially for a national championship team. This year, he's now the best safety in the country. So Malachi Starks, man, has really blown me away with how good he's been.